Hello and welcome to this week's Modern Toyfare Reviews. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the gigantic Great Ape Vegeta from SH Figuarts. And I'm just going to start off by saying this big boy is thick with two C's, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first up, let's take just a look at how the figure turned out detail-wise. The hair, absolutely fantastic. All sorts of sculpting. The even down into his sideburns and his ears. His snout has the wrinkles on it. The detailing on the rest of him, it looks great. You've got all sorts of cracks and everything throughout his armor. And I'm going to try to give you a little bit of a closer look just because they didn't really add much paint deco to this figure. Outside of just this piece is this color, this piece is that color, there's not a lot of shading or anything, so it's kind of hard to make out. Even if you spin him around here, on his back, he does have all sorts of different cracks throughout his armor, just like on the front. He does have even some of the detailing of the ribbing on his armor, on the shoulders and on the lower back. The hair is still just as detailed as it is on the front. All sorts of different molding for the different spikes in his hair. His pants are kind of ripped up. His tail, you've got all sorts of just different molding for the fur on his tail. It does look really good. But again, it's just it's missing a lot of paint detail. So looking at right now, can't really tell a whole lot of that battle damage look to it. So that part's a little bit of disappointment. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the articulation. So first up's the head. You do have a little bit back, not a whole lot, just enough you can kind of look in the air. Down he gets a decent amount, so you can definitely look down at whoever he's towering over. A little bit of tilt to the left and the right, and then swivel to left and right as well. Can't quite go 360 because his armor and his shoulders are in the way. The mouth is on a hinge though, which is cool, so you can have his mouth open or closed. As for the arms, you've got all the way out. He does have this additional joint for the butterfly joint that kind of gives him a little more range forward and back and up and down. The armor does shift around, which is nice, so it doesn't really get in the way. You do have bicep swivel. You also have double joint elbows, but he's kind of jacked, so it's a little hard to really notice it. And then as always, you got the 360 on the wrist and the forward and back motion. And the arms do go all the way forward and back, but for the torso, you get quite a bit of down range of motion, but none back. He does have a little bit of a swivel, but nothing too crazy. He is very top heavy though. For the legs, he does go pretty far forward, double jointed knees, the thigh swivel, and then a decent amount to the side, nothing too crazy. For the feet, you do have decent amount down, pretty much good up. Then swivel it's solid, it's good enough that it helps him pose, but it's nothing crazy. And then you do have the toe articulation, which I didn't really think it helped too much. As far as the tail, it's on a ball joint, so it goes all the way around and then up and down. You can kind of twist the ball joint, but as you can see, the tail does pop off pretty easily for that. It's still pretty cool that they add that. Alright, next up is the accessories. So first we have this little kind of faceplate. It's just an extra set of eyes. The way it works is you have to pull the top part of his nose off, and then take the faceplate out, and then you get this terrifying image, and then you just pop this right in there, make sure it's nice and snug. And then this is the fun part, trying to line this up just right. And get a little better angle here. There we go. Get in there nice and tight. And now you have one-eyed Great Ape Vegeta. Next we do have his hands. You'll see they're pretty beat up. They've got some scuffs on the knuckles and some tears throughout them. They're really cool, but again, no shading, so it doesn't really stand out. Same thing with his pointing hand. It's only for the right hand, not the left. A lot of tears and stuff in the gloves, but it doesn't really stick out too much. We do have this kind of nubbed tail that it makes it so you can have him having his tail cut off, which brings us to this. We have a tiny Yajirobe with his sword, and he actually does stick into the display stand of the figure. So you can kind of get this awesome pose of him getting his tail chopped off and Yajirobe kind of falling away to escape. It's definitely a cool little add-on that I think they announced, but I completely forgot about it until I opened the picture or opened the box itself. My favorite accessory though is these hands here. So you've got Goku trapped inside the grips of Vegeta. You've got him just kind of dangling there, and he's screaming in agony, as you can see there, and then his little feet are kind of poking through. It's definitely one of my favorite things that this came with. Finally, we do have, and could be a little hard to get in frame, this display stand. And this thing is sturdy AF. I mean, it's huge. It's got these clamps to hold him with the little like seat crotch piece. It does have an opposable arm. Granted, as heavy as he is, I don't think it'll get him too far off the ground. Alright, last thing we're going to try to look at is the box. As you can see, it's going to be a little bit difficult just because of how massive it is. You do have this giant image of Vegeta on it, and then you do have this very tiny window, so I feel bad for inbox collectors just because you aren't going to really be able to see the figure on your shelf. If I can get this to get in the light a little bit, you can see there's some more artwork of Vegeta there on the side. Yajirobe cutting off his tail. Swinging around to the back, you've got all these different poses and information about the figure and how tall he is. Other side, same thing, more just pictures of Vegeta and then him crushing Goku. Up on top, let's try to get this just right. You can see even more pictures of Vegeta. And then down on the bottom, you've got just a couple more pictures. Surprisingly, they don't have the please don't choke on this information down the bottom. I'm guessing because there's so much space, they didn't want it to be all empty. Alright, so that's going to wrap it up for this week's video. As always, if you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the little bell to get notifications when our videos go up. We have Modern Toyfare reviews on Mondays and Modern Toyfare news with me and Jamar on Fridays. If you want to support the channel, there's a little link below for tpublic.com. It takes you to our store. We have all sorts of different shirts and mugs, phone cases, pillows, all sorts of stuff with our logo on it, or just other designs that I've worked up in Photoshop, so feel free to give those a look. Also, make sure to check us out on social media. Twitter and Instagram are at Modern Toyfare. We do currently have a giveaway going on, so also check out Modern Toyfare News to hear more about that. Hopefully we'll see you next week, same toy time, same Toyfare channel. Thank you for watching.